How much worse can it really get? The average American home now costs more than 7 times the average salary. Even with prices cooling, fewer homes are selling than at any point in a decade. Today, most homeowners are trapped by low-rate mortgages, and many young buyers are losing bidding wars before they even get a chance. If the middle class was supposed to anchor the American dream, what happens when the ground gives way beneath them? Headlines everywhere are celebrating a dip in home prices. The Case-Shiller Index, the gold standard for tracking U.S. home values, just posted its first decline in years. But there is a catch buried deep in the fine print. This index only counts homes that actually sold, not the ones that sat on the market, pulled listings, or never found a buyer. So when fewer people are willing or able to buy, the only numbers that show up come from the rare deals that close. Think of it as measuring the temperature of a crowded room while only asking the people standing by the air conditioner. The real story is hiding in plain sight. The so-called price dip is just a sliver of the market. In reality, most homeowners are not even trying to sell, and many buyers have simply given up. The index cannot capture the growing pile of unsold homes or the families who stopped looking. It ignores the millions who want to move but cannot stomach the new mortgage rates. So when you hear that prices are down, remember this number is only telling you about the shrinking group who managed to make a deal. For everyone else, the market feels as frozen as ever. The good news is a mirage, built on a shrinking sample and a lot of wishful thinking. Sales numbers are falling off a cliff. According to the National Association of Realtors, there are 25% fewer homes being bought and sold today than before the pandemic. The market is not just slow, it is frozen, locked up by a force most buyers never see coming. More than half of American homeowners are sitting on mortgages with rates under 4%. With current rates hovering above 6%, almost nobody wants to give up their cheap monthly payment. It is like golden handcuffs. Owners are trapped even if they want to move. That has left buyers with almost nothing to choose from. Charts from the New York Fed show a steep drop in listings from households holding those low-rate loans. Each percentage point gap between old and new rates means fewer people are willing to sell. The numbers are cold, but the impact is personal. Take Zoe, a 29-year-old who landed a new job in a mid-sized city. She spent 6 months searching for a starter home on a $350,000 budget, but lost out again and again to cash buyers and investors. Rents kept climbing. In the end, Zoe packed up and moved back in with her parents. She is not alone. Across the country, millions are stuck in limbo, unable to move up, locked out of buying, or priced out of renting. The supply crunch is not just a chart on a screen. It is a wall, and for many, there is no way around it. 4 forces are squeezing the middle class from every side, each one a barrier you cannot ignore. First, supply. In cities like Los Angeles, a single sentence in the zoning code, Section 12.08, locks entire neighborhoods into single-family homes. No duplexes, no apartments, just one house per lot, by law. Over 70% of Los Angeles residential land is still tied up this way, and even new state laws barely make a dent. That means less room for new families and no relief for prices. Next, finance. Wall Street has turned homes into investments. Giant real estate trusts called REITs buy thousands of houses at a time. SEC filings from companies like Invitation Homes show portfolios topping 80,000 properties, often in the same city. With cash offers and fast closings, these firms outbid ordinary buyers, pushing up prices and turning starter homes into permanent rentals. Then, the pay gap. Wages have not kept up with the basics. Since the 1980s, healthcare costs have grown 3 to 5 times faster than paychecks. Even families with 2 incomes are falling behind, forced to choose between medical bills and mortgage payments. Finally, portability. In the US, you cannot take your low mortgage rate with you when you move. Other countries allow homeowners to transfer their rate, but here moving often means a payment that jumps by hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. For a couple in the Midwest, that meant postponing retirement after a property tax hike, and a health scare wiped out their savings. Each force is a wall, and together, they are closing in. In America today, 31 counties generate 1/3 of the entire nation's economic output. This is not just dots on a map. These places are the beating heart of the U.S. economy. Los Angeles, Cook, Harris, Maricopa, King, and a handful of others hold more financial power than most states combined. The rest of the country is left fighting over what is left. This kind of concentration does not just shape paychecks and job prospects. It decides who gets to stay in their homes and who gets pushed out. In Maricopa County, Arizona, eviction filings have exploded. 10 years ago, about 22,000 families faced eviction in a single year. Now it is nearly 88,000, a four-fold jump, according to court records and Eviction Lab data. Rents in Phoenix have soared by 60% since 2019, and affordable apartments have all but vanished. When so much wealth and opportunity pool in a few places, the fallout spreads far beyond city lines. If one of these economic giants stumbles, millions feel the shock. For families living paycheck to paycheck, the stakes are even higher. A missed rent payment, a lost job, and the safety net disappears. The crisis is not evenly spread. It is concentrated, multiplied, and growing harder to escape with every passing year. Housing costs in the U.S. are sky high, but they have not reached the stratosphere seen in some peer countries. In cities like Toronto, Vancouver, London, and Sydney, the price-to-income ratio regularly hits 12, 14, even 15. That means homes cost 12 to 15 times what the average household earns in a year. By comparison, the most expensive American cities, Los Angeles, San Jose, and Seattle, hover around 8 to 10. The global average for affordability is closer to 3 or 4. If U.S. cities followed the path of Canada, the UK, or Australia, prices would have to climb another 50%, or incomes would need to stall out while home values keep rising. OECD and Demographia data show just how much higher the bar can go. On a price-to-income graph, the U.S. is high, but not the highest. The question is not whether things are bad. It is how much worse they could get if the same forces keep pushing in the same direction. In Hong Kong, the numbers barely seem real. The median home costs more than 18 times the average household income. That's not a typo. Demographia's survey puts Hong Kong at the top of the global unaffordability charts, year after year. For many families, the only option is to squeeze 8 people into a 2-bedroom apartment. Some rent nothing but a bunk bed or a tiny partitioned space, so-called coffin homes, just to get by. In Shanghai, the price-to-income ratio hovers around 16, and it is common for 3 generations to share a single flat. Taipei is not far behind. There, the dream of owning a home has slipped so far out of reach that young adults often live with their parents well into their 30s or even 40s. These are not rare stories. They are the daily reality for millions. Overcrowding is not just a statistic, it is a way of life. The walls close in, privacy vanishes, and the idea of a home as a place to build your future starts to disappear. If you think the U.S. housing crunch is bad, these cities show just how much farther the floor can drop. Today, only half of Americans identify as middle class, a sharp drop from just 2 decades ago. As housing and living costs continue to outpace wages, the dream of stability grows more distant. The real question now: who decides what is middle when the center keeps slipping away?